You know, in medical research, progress can feel like a real grind, but every once in a while, you get a sprint. Today, we're going to break down an absolutely stunning 3-month period of breakthroughs that have completely changed the game for type 1 diabetes, all pulled together for us in a fantastic analysis by Dr. Praveen Ramachandra. This one line, right here from Dr. Ramachandra's work, just nails it. It perfectly captures the massive shift we're about to walk through. We're talking about going from just coping with the disease to actively changing its course. And really, for the first time, seeing a believable path to a cure. Okay, let's get into it. The way this analysis is laid out is just so smart. It doesn't just list things by date. No, it organizes these incredible developments by how they actually impact people's lives. It's honestly the best way to see the whole amazing picture. So, here's our game plan. We're going to follow this roadmap to see how each piece of this puzzle connects to the next, how a therapy that can actually modify the disease fuels the quest for a cure, how daily life is getting better right now, and how all of it, every single bit, depends on a new plan for prevention. This is the story of a field being reborn. Okay, first things first, we have to understand this core idea. For what feels like forever, the goal with type 1 has been one thing: management. You know, that endless daily battle to keep blood sugar in check. Well, that goalpost has officially moved. The new target is disease modification, and that, my friends, changes everything. All right, so let's get into the first big piece of news and see this new paradigm in action. We're talking about a therapy that can actually hit the pause button on the onset of type 1 diabetes, giving kids and their families precious, precious time. So what is this stuff exactly? It sounds super technical, right? But the idea behind it is actually pretty brilliant. Think of the T cells in your immune system like soldiers. In type 1 diabetes, these soldiers get confused and start attacking the body's own insulin factory. Tzield basically acts like a peacekeeper, stepping in to calm down those specific, misguided soldiers without shutting down your whole immune defense. And that brings us to this number. Wow. This came out of a key study called Petite T1, and it is just remarkable. Almost 90%. So what does a number like that actually mean for a kid who's at risk? Well, here's what it means. For nearly 9 out of every 10 at-risk kids in this study, the full-blown clinical disease, the stage where you need insulin every day, was successfully held off for at least a year. This isn't just management anymore. This is actively rewriting the disease's playbook. And get this, things are moving at lightning speed. This timeline just shows you how fast the wheels are turning to get this game-changing therapy to toddlers. And that is so important because they're a group that often gets a much more aggressive, much more dangerous form of the disease. Okay, so delaying the disease is incredible, but what about a cure? Let's talk about the holy grail of T1D research, creating what they call a functional cure, but without needing immunosuppression. Those are the powerful, lifelong drugs you have to take that kind of blunt your whole immune system. The goal is to get the cure without that really heavy price. Now, what I love about this is that it shows we're not just putting all our eggs in one basket. We've got 3 different strategies, all making huge progress at the same time. SANA is trying to make cells invisible to the immune system, and it's worked for 14 months in one patient with 0 immunosuppression. Insulin is building a sort of biotech bodyguard, a little pouch to protect the cells. And Vertex is our benchmark. They've already proven the cells work with 10 out of 12 patients now insulin-free, even though they do still need those anti-rejection drugs. It's a race, and it's amazing to watch. Okay, so while that quest for a cure is heating up, what about right now for people living with type 1 today? Well, a major trial has just shown us a way to make life dramatically better. So researchers took a drug that's already widely used for type 2 diabetes, semaglutide, and they gave it to adults with type 1 who are already using those modern artificial pancreas systems. The question they asked was pretty simple. Could this extra tool make these already awesome systems even better? And the answer was a resounding yes. The results were just, wow. You can see it right here. Patients needed way less insulin. We're talking almost 23% less over the whole day, and a massive 30% cut from mealtime insulin. Anyone who lives with T1D knows what a huge burden that is to lift. Now, this is the really important part. You might be thinking, oh, it's just because people lost weight, right? But nope. The data showed this benefit kicking in by week 4, way before any big weight changes happened. That tells us the drug itself is having a direct, helpful effect for people with type 1. But here's the thing. All of this amazing science we've been talking about, delaying the disease, better management, even cures, it all hinges on one single critical idea. You have to know who's at risk before the disease actually takes hold. And that's where a country's policy can literally change the game. Italy has become the very first nation to require T1D screening for kids. In a pilot program, they tested over 5,000 children and found that this percentage, just under 1%, already showed the silent earliest signs of the disease. So what Italy's doing here is huge. It proves that screening on a massive scale works. It turns a diagnosis from what's often a life-threatening medical emergency into a manageable starting point. It opens the door for early therapies like Tzield to do the most good. And it basically hands the rest of the world a blueprint to follow. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground. What does it all mean when you put it together? Dr. Ramachandra's analysis really boils it down to a whole new strategy, a new way of thinking about type 1 diabetes care. Look, we're in a completely new world now. Step 1, finding T1D early isn't just a nice-to-have anymore, it's the essential first step. It is the key that unlocks all these other therapies. And for people living with the disease today, management is no longer just about insulin. It's about a smarter combination attack using all the powerful tools we have. And all of this leaves us with one big, mind-blowing question. For the very first time, we have the tools to find this disease before it even shows symptoms, and we have therapies to stop it in its tracks. It totally shifts the story from one of just enduring this disease to one of, well, maybe